How to fill up Form 4A for your PR application in 2022 is the topic of discussion for this presentation. So mostly I will be going through the form and there are no slides. So first of all, what you will have to do is search for ICA in your web browser. Go to the Immigration and Checkpoint Authority website and you will be mostly a pass holder. So click on that and click on apply for permanent residency. After that, click on apply online and then select your category. So I'll select here employment pass holders because form 4A is applicable to this category only, and I will click on apply for PR. Now the system will direct you to SingPass, using which you will have to log in, and once you are logged in, you will be presented to an option something like this. So you see here left hand side, download the form. This is the option you have to execute and download this file. So the form for a submission for your PR application works like this. You have to download this file. Then you have to fill in all the details. After that you have to upload that completed file using this second option. And then ICS system will extract all the relevant details from that form. This is a much easier and recommended option than doing it online, because typically in an application you may have a lot of information like your spouse details, your children details, your own details. So that is the reason this option is recommended. Now I already have downloaded a file and I'm going to show you that now. So this is the file that I have downloaded, and if I double click on this, it will most probably open in some web browser. So here it is opening, and as you can see, it does not show any details. The reason is that because that file has got lot of scripting and programming inside, web browsers will not show this file properly. So what you need to do, you need to right click on this file if you face this problem and say open with either Adobe Acrobat DC, that is the Adobe Acrobat software, or Adobe Acrobat Reader. Now we use Adobe Acrobat DC, so I am opening in that software. So the file is open now, and the version that I am showing you is version 4.2. I think this version is there for last 2 years, but in case you get a different version, there is no need to worry because basic principles will remain same. Now you can see the form here, and you will notice that majority of the places ICA has provided fields where you can enter in the details. So now we are ready to fill up this. What I am going to do is I am not going to explain each and every field because majority of these fields are self-explanatory. But where more information or more clarification is required, only those fields I will touch. So the first field is I was previously a. Normally you will select not applicable, but sometimes what happens is previously you were some other pass holder. For example, you were previously permanent resident and your permanent residency got cancelled, or you were previously a Singapore citizen and you gave up your citizenship. So if that is the case, you will have to select the appropriate category. Then all other details seems to be logical. You can put your name, surname, date of birth, race, birth certificate number. One of the things to highlight here is nationality and citizenship. This selection does not work like typically in most of the forms. For example, if I want to select India, I have a habit of typing IN. But if I type IN, it goes to Namibia. So what I need to do then, I will have to type I and then I will have to select specifically Indian. And then depending upon the country of citizenship that you are selecting, you will have to specify your foreign identity number that is issued by that country. So that can be Aadhaar card for India. If it is a Malaysian, then it is a Malaysian My Card number. And in some countries, there is no practice of issuing a foreign identity number. There you can select this field. Other details are okay. Here you select your marital status. So whether you are single, married, if you are in a common law, that is live-in relationship, divorced, separated, or widowed. Now keep it in mind, if you are divorced and currently married to somebody else, you will select married and you will give details of your previous marriages in a separate section. Here you enter your travel document number, that is passport number. There is a facility to enter additional travel document number. Now some countries allow dual citizenship, and because of dual citizenship it is possible that you have two passports. For example, UK, America, Canada, I think Australia, these all countries offer dual citizenship. So you are required to give those details. You should not withhold those details. After this, your full employment history starts. So one record is provided and you can keep on adding additional employment records like this. So if you click, a new box will open. I'm going to remove for the time being. Now these again, all these fields are more or less self-explanatory. Occupation is something that you need to be careful about. So this occupation is not what you write. There is a pop-up over here. So if I click on this field, a pop-up will come up like this. So suppose somebody is IT manager. So you will have to search for IT manager and you may find that IT manager as a occupation is not there. So then you may need to check what closely resembling occupations are available. So here I may find ICT service manager, and this might be something which is close to the occupation of the candidate or the applicant. So you can select that. You have to be a bit careful here because you want to select the most matching occupation, and these occupations can have its own internal values in selection process. After this, if you have done any achievements and innovations in your work or profession, you can give details of those, maximum up to 3500 characters. You will then proceed to give the details of your education and vocational industrial training. So you can either say I have not received any education, which mostly will not be the case. So select I have received education and fill up the details. Just like other details, you can add additional educational records. Now generally I will recommend to give the educational details of only those courses which are more than 1 year in duration. I have seen sometimes people even giving educational details like forklift training or industrial security training, which is a 1 day or 2 day program in a company. Generally I recommend to avoid those. Then you are going to give the residential record. So you will specify where you have stayed in last 10 years for more than 6 months. And you can keep on adding that residential record. If you are a member of any professional societies, clubs, associations, religious groups, then you will specify. Otherwise, you can just leave this blank. Keep it in mind, you must be currently a member, president, vice president, treasurer, or in any other capacity related to that professional organization. If say 10 years back you were a member of some society, that doesn't count here and you should not be really giving it here. Now let's go back and I'm going to set up marital status to be married. Now when you do this, few additional fields open up in the form somewhere down below. So let's go and have a look at it. Okay, so here the ICA form is asking particulars of all other previous marriages, not the current one. If you were previously married, then in that case all those details you have to provide over here. So the details are again logical: full name, surname, date of birth, place of birth, nationality, citizenship, present whereabouts, and date of marriage, divorce certificate number, where the marriage happened, where the divorce was registered, and where the what was the date of divorce. Now it is possible that it may not have ended in divorce, it might have ended in decease also, in the sense the spouse died. So you can select in present whereabout as deceased So you can select deceased and the date of death will be asked. If you were married previously to more than one person, in the sense you had multiple marriages, you can add additional other spouses also. Please note this section is not for your current spouse. There is a separate section for that. So we will move on to the next section. Now here the details of main applicant's father, mother and siblings is asked. So you are required to provide this information. And again this information is quite straightforward. Again, present whereabouts, you can either tell in which country the father, mother is there, or you can specify whether they are deceased. Is your father or mother currently employed? You can specify yes, no, no information. If you select no, then the system will ask some additional information which you can select. Similarly, on the next page, details of main applicant's siblings will be asked. So if you have any brother or sister, the main applicant, if they have any brother sister, their details will have to be added over here. If you don't have any siblings, you can click on I have no siblings. Now moving on to the next slide, here comes another part, that is details of main applicant's current spouse. So this is the information about current spouse and obviously whether the current spouse is applying for PR with you. Again, the details are quite standard, just like the main applicant. Name, passport number, birth certificate number, nationality, address in Singapore, address in the country of residence, travel document number. If the spouse is currently employed, then you will have to provide the current job details of your spouse. And then again you specify spouse educational details. If spouse has any previous marriages, that information will have to be captured. So I will mark it no right now. And then spouse father and spouse mother details will be required. So that becomes main applicant's father-in-law and mother-in-law. Normally the siblings details of the spouse are not asked here. So this again is very straightforward, just like the way we have seen in case of father and mother of the main applicant. Now here comes the details of main applicant's children. So all the children main applicant has will have to be included over here, and those who are applying for PR will have to be marked as yes, applying for PR, or no if they are not applying for PR. Normally for majority of the families this is a straightforward process because it might be the first marriage of both husband and wife, and all the children are included because they are already on the dependent path. Where this becomes complicated is where the main applicant had previous marriages and the main applicant has children from previous marriages, and either those are to be included over here in the application or are to be excluded. For example, take a case that main applicant was married previously and he had one child and the spouse unfortunately died, and then he married second time, and then from second marriage he got another child. So now there are two children where one of them will be biological child of the current spouse, whereas the other one will be considered as a stepchild of the current spouse, and both of them will be applying for PR. If you have adopted children, those also can be included in this application. For example, main applicant, if he has adopted a child, that can be included. So this way you include the details of all the children, their travel documents, and then obviously about what they are doing, which school or what kind of courses they are doing, that you will have to include. If required, you can add educational records for the children, as well as you can add additional children. And now with this, we come to the last part where you have to do some declaration that you have not been prohibited to enter Singapore, you have not done any crimes, you have not been deported and all that. And then that completes the application. The list of occupations, if you want to see, you can click here and it will open up a box. So you can study it before starting to fill the application. The one thing that I need to tell you, this form is full of all validations and some kind of scripting programming in this application, Adobe. So what happens is sometimes on some field, the form gets hanged, and if you exit out of that, you will lose all the data. So you have to be a bit careful while filling up these details. What I typically will do, when I start the form, I will fill up basic details, main applicant's details. Marital status, I will put single. I will put one employment record. I will put one residence record, and everything else I will put it off. Meaning, I will say I am not a member of any society, have not received any education, do not have any other marriages, have no information about father, and some reason maybe something. Same thing for mother, and then I will save the form. So the copy is saved. And then one by one, I will keep on opening these sections and I will fill up the correct details. So this enables me to every time I finish a section, I can save the form. So thank you for watching this video, and in case you are interested in availing services, professional services for filing your PR or citizenship application, don't hesitate to get back to us. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel today. PR Application is a leading immigration consultancy company in Singapore.